Tensions have been rising between the residents of these apartment blocks and the local people in Mondragone after the buildings were placed under lockdown due to dozens of coronavirus cases. Several residents tried to leave in defiance of the order.
And this could be a big problem for us because after they're gonna close all the city, and then it's an economic problem for us.
Most of the residents are Bulgarian. Many of them thought to be working in Italy without proper contracts and for very low wages. Now, sentiment against the foreign workforce is mounting. They are agricultural workers. They come each season. Then they move on to Greece for the olive harvest. Before these seasonal workers arrived, there was no COVID here. Now, dozens of police have been sent to Mondragone to ease tensions and stop residents from leaving the building. To keep the virus contained, the Red Cross is carrying out extensive testing. Hundreds of samples have already been taken. I must say that Mondragone is responding very, very well. A lot of people are coming for tests. Since we started this morning, we've taken over 250 swabs. People understood here how important it is to be careful about the virus. Now, a national protection agency is delivering food to the quarantined residents. They will not be able to leave their homes for the next 15 days.
I'm now joined by journalist Seema Gupta in Spurlonga, around 50 kilometers from Mondragone. Seema, greetings. Why has the new corona outbreak happened among agricultural workers?
Well, these agricultural workers, they're essentially seasonal workers. They come to Italy in order to harvest crops at the time when the crops are ready. And so they often, unfortunately, as we also heard in that report, they're often exploited. They have poor working conditions. They're paid very little. And they live in abandoned apartment buildings in the area, which have, unfortunately, poor sanitary conditions. And so it becomes easy for the virus to spread among this particular group. So now this apartment complex where they are living has been put under quarantine. They've conducted more than 700 tests on the people that they're living there, and they found 43 positive cases of COVID-19. That's mainly the Bulgarian seasonal workers, but also 9 homeless Italians that were squatting in that building. There have been tensions between the inhabitants of that apartment complex and the residents of Mondragone, who are upset about the fact that their town is in the headlines for this reason. And so that's why we've also seen that the Italian government has decided to send soldiers in to try and control the situation and make sure those who are under quarantine stay put for the next 15 days.
Clearly a developing situation there. I'm curious, Seema, are officials there also seeing rising cases among the other residents of the city?
Well, what they're doing now is that they're testing all some 30,000 residents of Mondragone because they say they want to put the situation under control. The governor of Campania region, Vincenzo De Luca, who has been very vocal throughout this outbreak about wanting to control the cases in his region of Campania, has said that they're tracking down everyone, including a group of Bulgarian workers who had decided to leave the area because they said they need to work. They need to work in order to feed their families. In any case, they've been tracked down and they've tested negative. So they're continuing to test, and the governor has said if he finds 100 cases, he's going to lock down the entire town.
You'd have to be living under a rock not to know that Italy was central to this whole pandemic story here in Europe. In general, how effective have the Italian authorities been in containing corona, especially now that the main travel season has begun?
Well, what the government and the authorities, regional authorities, are trying to do is to make sure that people stick to the self-protection measures, such as wearing those masks when you're indoors, social distancing, as well as hand sanitizer gels being available, so that people keep to those important sanitary conditions. And they're identifying clusters like Mondragone, like another cluster up north in Bologna, in a courier transport service company, in which they found some 64 cases, most of them without any symptoms at all. So essentially, they found some 10 towns in total now that have clusters or hotspots in there. They are clamping down on those and making sure that they control the spread in that area. And for the moment, that's what they're hoping to do in order to contain the spread. But you're right, it's the travel season now, it's summer. And so even more, they're saying people have to be vigilant.
Seema Gupta there in Spurlonga, many thanks for that.